You're listening to the New Old Heads podcast, shot live every Tuesday at twitch.tv/New Old Heads and released every Thursday at noon via bringingdowntheband.com. The show is brought to you by Coleman Dental, Printfinity, Indie CD and Vinyl. Support the show directly by becoming a member at patreon.com/New Old Heads.
You are now tuned in to the New Old Heads podcast. I am Major 7. The crew is in the building. Starting off with my man Jay Moore. How are you, sir?
Doing well. You know, it's a hot summer, but you know, I still got to keep it cool.
Heard that, man. Stay cool out there. Stay hydrated.
Hey, man, there's no other way to do it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My man Lonegevity is in the building. Hey, buddy.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going great, man.
Awesome.
Been pretty popular out there, man. You comment section, bro.
Yeah, always popular for the wrong reasons, I guess. But, you know.
Hey, somebody has to be popular for the wrong reasons, I guess, huh?
I guess. I don't even think they're for the wrong reasons, to be honest. But, you know. I'm sorry. People are triggered that I'm white.
Hey, man, like and subscribe.
And I talk about stuff that, you know, I'm a part of. I'm sorry. But I'm not.
They'll be all right. My man DJ Jay Diff in the building.
Salutations.
Good to see you as always, my brother.
Indeed.
All right, man, let's talk Magic 2.
Yes.
I haven't heard it.
You didn't miss too much. So,
ooh, now that could be considered hate.
I think I'm about to be on the bad side. Because Magic 2 dropped. Shout out to Nas and Hit Boy. And we had just talked about giving Nas his proper respect when due and then also holding him accountable. I think this is an accountable moment. Seeing some mixed reviews on this one. Just the thoughts overall. Lone said he hasn't heard it, but Terry, you heard it. Jay Moore, you heard it.
I haven't heard it enough.
Enough, okay. Fair enough.
No, I've run it 3 or 4 times. That's what I've listened to because I knew we were going to have the discussion.
But I kind of want to talk about him being an older artist and our expectation for older artists and creatives. Like, do we hold them to a higher standard than we should? Because with everyone, age comes and attrition. And
I had one issue.
Okay,
and this is the reason why I was like, it's cool.
Okay.
It did not sound, and you know how we're kind of music snobs in a sense, and how things sound.
For sure.
It sounded like it was recorded in the red a little bit. Like when I was I'm thinking I'm adjusting my speakers, my sound, and it still sounded that way to me.
Wasn't like an effect. It was just.
I don't know what it was, but it you know how a speaker doesn't sound like it's loud, but it doesn't sound good.
Right.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was getting off of it, and that kind of took away from some of it to me. And I mean, it's a quick project too, and it wasn't whack at all.
This one has. I pulled up the track list. I think this is around 11.
Oh, okay.
But the play length is fairly quick.
I watched like he dropped a video for it or whatever, and so I did see part of that. And you know, the song that I heard from the video, it was straight. You know, like the beat was cool. Nas was doing Nas. It was whatever. I didn't go back to it.
I mean, it's to me. I got so King's Disease is its own entity. It's its own series, and then Magic had Magic 1. Those were always to me looked at as these didn't make the cut. Right, throwaways. Well, not throwaways, but leftovers. If you want to call
people are arguing that Magic was better than the King's Disease series.
Well, they need to calm down.
Yeah, I'm cool on that argument.
This one here was better.
No, the first one.
Oh,
I disagree 100%.
There's only 2 of them, right?
Yeah. But with this one, I got these didn't make the cut vibes for all the records.
Well,
Nas, not all the records.
It was
not
cool.
all of it.
I mean, the only ones that stood out to me were. Even the 50 Cent verse, I got hyped for that because I'm like, man, 50's back. He said, Nas pulled me out. I'm like,
you did not feel like 50 was back.
I thought, no, this is what they said. This is how it was sold to me.
Down.
Nas pulled me. Nas got me to pop out, y'all. Y'all get ready for this. That's how it was sold.
They from Queens, man.
Yeah, you know, they from Queens.
They're just giving each other a little nod. They both rich.
But I fell for it, though. I fell for it.
Yeah, I don't know how you. If that's your problem with the.
No, it's not that. It's not just that.
Because that's more personal, I think. For you to think that 50 was about to pop out.
I thought he was going to pop out,
be on his 2004-ish.
Not even close.
Or something like that. Nah.
It's cool, man. I can't even remember the records that I like, but I listened a couple times.
No, the song Black Magic stands out to me.
Yeah, that's good.
First of all, because they flipped a Boyz II Men sample.
That is true. That is true.
And it wasn't anything that unless you just know Boyz II Men, and I'm not going to sample snitch here. Even though
thank you.
Go ahead. You know what? You go ahead and look that up in your own time. I'm not going to do that and make it easy for you. But I thought that was dope. Irvin Magic Johnson, Bokeem Woodbine. I like both of those tracks. Yeah. The thing
it's
is,
not a bad project.
When I listen to this record, there are more than half of the records I genuinely like. Okay, and none of them I will say, yeah, he could have kept that, because I've listened to Nas projects and been like, look, he could have kept basically all of the Lost Tapes too. We've had that
conversation.
Yeah.
Lost Tapes 1 was great.
Oh yeah, Pistols on your album cover. Like these are records that I don't think are just, it's cool. I think these are good to great records. And I'm, for all the complaining sometimes we do about hip hop and where is it going and are we taking steps backwards? The fact that like I got a Nas record and a Killer Mike record. Now, mind you, the Killer Mike record is far and above.
Yeah,
he's lapping the field right
best
now.
Thing out there
he's lapping the field right now.
But the fact that I can get a Nas record and a Killer Mike record in basically the same month.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that.
I'm. This is why when people always want to talk about hip hop, I was like, yeah, but you don't listen to hip hop. You go off of what you hear at the club. You go off of what's on the radio and what's on the blogs. And I'm not even talking about hip hop blogs. You checking for what's going on in the shade room as your experience in consuming hip hop. But my experience is different because I still take those deep dives and listen to the stuff that is not salacious, not just on foolishness, and I still am a fan of the art of hip hop and emceeing, and there is still enough for us to consume to where, because we talked about the foolishness probably the last 3 or 4 weeks and just how
it's out there,
but we as people who love hip hop, we gotta make sure that we prop up the people who are still making an effort. And you got to understand, Nas is one of these artists. He doesn't have to rap to eat. This is clearly him wanting to have an artistic.
He has a passion for music.
Yeah, because this is like, the money he makes off of this is probably, inconsequential to the money he's made through all of his, his investments. He's got restaurants, massive.
This hip hop thing is Nas's fountain of youth. This is what keeps him looking youthful.
Yeah, this is what keeps him still feeling fly out here, and I have no problem with that.
What do y'all think about the concept of holding the artists that are older? Is it unfair to hold them to a standard that they've set when they get to this point in their career?
With somebody like Nas.
Do you mean like a previous standard, or what do you mean by standard?
When I say standard, I mean with Nas is looked at as a top 5 MC, all time great. Mm-hmm. He's always dope when he pops out. Like he has a standard lyrically that we come to expect. Mm-hmm. But I think it's just like sports. Sometimes we get older and we age and we're not as sharp and as polished as we used to be. I think in music sometimes we do that as fans. We think, well, man, XYZ's falling off. He don't have it like he used to. And some people will say that's unfair, and some people will say, well, he has to maintain a certain status because he's a legend.
I don't think it's a situation where you could even say he fell off.
I don't. For the record, I have not. I don't believe that.
It's just a matter of sometimes you have some tracks that just weren't as good as other tracks as you put out as a whole. But I mean, it's not a bad project. It's cool. I'm spoiled from Killer Mike's album right now.
Good point.
We talked about how good Black Milk's album is as well.
Shout out to Black Milk.
But I don't think it's a miss.
No, please don't. Yeah, it's definitely not.
No,
a
it's
miss.
not. It's
but
not.
back to the point that like Mike's saying here though, like I don't think that artists necessarily like Nas, if he's not going to get worse throughout time regardless. I don't think any artist necessarily does. I think we all get better throughout time. I think the thing that happens is we as artists, we may get more maybe out of touch with maybe certain things, maybe trying new things or the sounds that we're trying to choose or all the things in between the talent level itself. Because can we actually really name an artist that's like really fallen off quality wise throughout time? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
No, because even when you think about, because the thing is, okay, I'll take it here first. Because with Nas, there are some people, especially if you're around our age, you remember what Illmatic was. I remember what Illmatic was, the hype.
Yes, we all do. Yep.
Okay, and you're not going to get that same feeling. You're not going to get that, because this is a kid who's 19 compared to somebody who's knocking on 50. And you're knocking on 50. You've grown with him, but at the same time, you have those memories of what you felt, when everyone was super excited about the Nas album. And then it's like, oh, what's he going to do next? Or when you heard him on Verbal Intercourse and you're like, oh, it's just a problem. As far as people falling off, maybe when they're not as focused, everybody knows how much I love LL, but like LL,
that GOAT album wasn't great.
Nope.
You
Sure
know,
wasn't.
and then there are other records after that, you know, I thought were better than what people remember them as.
Yeah.
You know, but also LL, you know, he was still in that mode to where technically he wasn't rapping to eat, you know, because he was already a big star, but he was a part of a major label system that was still be like, okay, we got to get a song, You and the Dream, and we got to have a song with so-and-said hot rapper, and let's get you with Jennifer Lopez. Nas is not in that place. He doesn't care. Like, if he was going to try to, you know, be a part of that system, he'd have got somebody else other than 50 Cent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because 50 Cent,
just
50
rich
Cent is
fans.
also not rapping to eat.
Yeah,
But
they're
I
rich friends that just got on a track together.
I like what Nate Jeezy said. He says
that's essentially what I think I was like trying to allude
That's
to.
it.
What Nate's saying is like, I don't think artists get worse throughout time. I think they maybe just lose passion, or they don't. You know, passion is definitely good. That's definitely articulated kind of what I was looking at. But I think it's also like staying up on like, you know, what is deemed really good now as
Like
well.
the Andre 3000 explanation about why he doesn't want to keep doing music, because hip hop is what's new and fresh, and he feels like he's not hip.
Yeah, that's that aspect.
But that's
as well.
him. Andre 3000 is in a class of his own.
facts.
As far as artists are concerned, because he's like one of those people, you look up the definition of artist, you'd see an Andre 3000.
Yeah.
Because he's so critical of himself that he feels like he's still not cool enough to do it, and he's still doing it at a high level.
But even like the cool level, like when we're comparing, again, I haven't heard this Nas record, but if we're comparing the Nas record to the Killer Mike level or record, from what the one or two songs I've heard Nas release as like videos or singles, the Killer Mike album is really good front to back musically, and you can tell that there's like a certain type of passion involved
energy,
in making that record.
Attention to detail, all of it.
It's not just like
there.
a bunch of songs kind of put together. It's
Exactly.
like it's literally giving you an experience. And so maybe that's the effort aspect you guys are kind of.
And you can see it too with his live show that he's doing, because
Yes.
the live show
He's got a choir
is
and
exactly
everything,
what
yeah.
we kind of explained it on the show, how it feels like going to church.
Yep.
That's how his show is. It's set up like with a choir singing.
Yep.
He has a podium like he's a preacher. You know what I'm saying? It's like he's
Yeah.
taking you to church.
I like what you said, Lone, about experimenting with sounds and stuff. It's Electric Circus. It's the album that Common did, produced by Pharrell. I can't even remember the name of it.
right.
Universal Mind Control.
You know, thank you. I
It's
think so.
a couple of the Roots albums.
Couple of the Roots albums. I think what you said, that's a part of it as well, because you get something envisioned in your mind that an artist is supposed to be at that level. You remember when that came out or when that project just hit, it's like, I got to have that every single time. And as artists go through and become more creative and experiment, I think sometimes we use that maybe to the detriment. So you'll hear people say, oh, he's falling off, when in all actuality, it's just experimentation and they're going a different
Yeah.
direction.
And from an artistic standpoint, realistically, as an artist, they're growing.
Right.
You know what I mean? The end product may not be as good as what we want, or maybe just not as good.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that them as an artist aren't growing.
Exactly.
Because Nas, be clear now, it's cool to me, but be clear, Nas can still rap. He's still snapping. Like, it's not about him being able to
Right.
still hold up. He's still nice. It's just, it sounds like just a collection of records versus what you
Yeah.
just talked about.
As opposed to the Killer Mike or even the Black Milk
Or the
record,
Black Milk
which
project.
you can definitely tell there's a lot of sound designing going on in his. What
they
he's
put some
doing.
work. They put some work into that production on both of those. But nah, man, I'm seeing. From what I see, I'm seeing mixed reviews. Some people love it. Some people say it's cool. I'm not gonna say it's trash. Now let's not
Man.
get carried away. It's not trash.
I honestly know people that are our same age
Mhm.
that have never liked Nas,
Yes.
like ever.
Yes.
And that's okay. You know what I'm saying?
It is.
It just ain't for everybody.
I
Everything
don't-
ain't for everybody.
That's what I said. Like I don't hate him, but I don't seek Nas.
Yeah, there you go.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Back to your point, we got
Yes.
sidetracked.
Yes.
What was the statement again?
It's just more about us how we hold them accountable
Yeah, so
as
doing-
they age.
Are they held at a
Are they
higher,
held at a higher standard?
I think they are in general. I don't know if it's fair or not. It's
not fair.
It's probably
probably
not.
not.
It's not fair
but at
because-
the same time, or maybe it is fair.
It is, because you're used to a certain type of product. And if they're not giving you that same type of product, then you'll kind of frown upon it. But in the same token, like this project from Nas, I don't see as one of those projects that you can frown upon because of his classification in the rap world. I think, honestly,
I just think that's us. It's the fan in you. You have a certain connection with the artist, and there's certain levels of expectations that we have through our connections. I just think that's just us being fans, and you know what I mean. Like, I just think that's a part of it that comes with it. Now, fair or not, I mean,
when it comes down to the artists get to choose what they want to do.
100%.
But at the same time, like if I have a history of putting out a whole bunch of thematic type projects and then I just randomly drop something that I don't do anything with, then you're ostracizing your fan base. So it's one of those type of things.
So I see Smooth Hoosier brought up, we don't expect greatness from Snoop Dogg anymore. The thing with Snoop Dogg is he is a national, worldwide icon now.
He's a brand at this point.
So he's like, with Snoop can do anything, and he's still going to be able to go back and do his old stuff too. I mean, he was just here last week headlining
nostalgia.
A tour.
He's already got that nostalgia thing 3 and 4 times over.
Right. So Snoop, anything that he does now is just icing on the cake, because he can drop a project. You might hear one song off of it, but that one song that was really good off that project, just go on tour with him. That one song. It's not like he's touring new music.
Once again, he's
or
not
new albums. He's doing, like you said, he's touring.
He's not rapping to eat. That said, I did like Back on Death Row.
I did too.
I did too. And he had a nice collaboration with Nas on that album.
It's fire on that
but
album.
At the same time, it's like,
Snoop has evergreen product.
There you go.
Does he? He's on Mount Rushmore too.
Literally and figuratively.
Is he
Westmore?
Mount Westmore.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
So he puts out like the people. Look, there are people like me who are always going to check Rushmore. Who are always going to check for a Snoop album. I'm always going to, run a Snoop album. I'm
going to run a Snoop album.
But like I said, when you don't have to rap to eat, and you understand that, like, you're not going to try to rap to try to get on the radio or anybody's playlist. You're just going to do you.
Yes.
It's it's a whole different idea.
Snoop's a brand now.
He's a brand. Snoop actually experiments with his sound.
He does.
And he's gotten pockets that really fit him. Remember, he did the album
12 Days of Funk was fire.
Yeah, with Dame Funk.
Did a gospel joint.
When he got in his Pharrell bag for a while.
Yep.
He got into the reggae vibe.
And I'm telling you, Snoop knows how to reinvent himself and still stay relevant and not look like he sold out his culture.
To Lone's point about being aware as music evolves, Snoop is 100% aware.
Yeah, man.
And has evolved with every vibe or every wave.
The 12. I mean, he's had some misses. Don't get me wrong.
Oh no, he got plenty of misses.
But the 12 Days of Funk was a really good sidestep for him.
But if we go see Snoop, I personally know I'm coming to see records off Doggy Style.
For sure.
I want to hear Beautiful.
Drop it like it's hot.
These are the records I'm coming to see. Yeah, that too.
So Snoop is still one of them people that some people probably get starstruck if they see Snoop.
I'd be starstruck if I saw Snoop.
Snoop is
I don't get down like that.
I mean, I think I brought this question up, or maybe it was just in my head, but Snoop Dogg might be the most recognizable face name in hip hop.
In hip hop, I wouldn't argue that.
Possible.
It's
He's
quite
doing
possible.
Commercials in German and Chinese. Like,
he's got cereal in the grocery store.
He got sketches. He be with Martha. Like, Snoop is everywhere, bro.
Yeah.
So shout out to Snoop, man. Snoop definitely, as they say, a whole legend.
He's one of those rappers that your parents know exactly who he is.
They told you not to listen to him, and now they cool with him.
My mama know
Kids
exactly
know who
Snoop
he is too, though. That's the thing.
Yeah,
like,
that's it.
He's on Twitch.
Every generation knows who Snoop is.
That's a testament to him and his longevity.
There we
Speaking
go.
of longevity, perhaps we can shout out our partners real quick.
Sure.
Thanks to our partners. Dr. Coleman of Coleman Dental is our go-to dentist. He's a longtime Indianapolis arts and music supporter located right in Broad Ripple. Printfinity is a screen printing shop based in Indianapolis, owned and operated by our own DJ Jay Diff. Our good friends at Indie CD and Vinyl operate one of the best record stores in North America. Shop new and used in their site or visit them in person. And the best way to support the New Old Heads is to visit our Patreon and become a member for as little as $3 a month. All details on newoldheads.com.
Let's talk beans, man. Beanie Sigel. Mac says he is excited to use AI because it will preserve and bring back, well, not preserve, but bring back his old voice on his new records. Now, the responses I've seen mixed on this one as well. Some people like it, but more of the people from our age and our era are saying it's not going to be the same if he uses AI with his new records and you hear that old Beans, because it's kind of just, it's like a deep fake.
Not necessarily. I
don't think
kind
it
of.
is.
If he writes the lyrics,
This is what I'm hearing now. This is what I'm hearing. But what do you guys think about it? Because it's going to be fresh material from his pen.
This makes sense.
No,
Do you like this one?
I like this one because number one, it's him with all this stuff we talked about last week with the movies and the AI and all that stuff. It's Beanie Sigel owning his own voice. It's not like Beanie Sigel rapping with Jay-Z's voice.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And so like if he can bring some, like think about the DOC. Well, the DOC came back.
That's exactly what I was thinking about too.
So you know, like I think from this aspect, it's kind of interesting, and I'm not mad at it.
and plus he's still alive. This is not
Yes.
someone trying to exploit his voice after he's passed on and trying to give us new material. He wants to use his voice and his pen to give us new material with his original voice. I think this is the story from AI that I can 100% get behind.
Yes.
This was made for.
Yeah, it makes absolute sense, man. Somebody, he has an issue with his voice.
He does.
He can still rap.
Yes.
So why not still pen these hits and use the AI to your advantage? Because I mean, he's technically not cheating.
No,
I mean, it is his, to Lone's point, you make a good point when you say the obvious. It is his voice. It's
his
not like
voice.
he's trying to
It's not
sound like
cheating.
somebody
it's his
else.
ownership. You know,
I saw mixed reviews, man, but I myself wanted to put it on here because I'm cool with it, to y'all point, because it is his and it is fresh material and he is, you know, coming up with the product. It's just he's gonna be vintage Beans.
The problem is when he goes on tour, then he just has to have a backing track, which a lot of people frown upon. That's the only thing.
Maybe.
But in his situation,
Maybe
I would get it.
get a pass.
It makes sense for him.
does
though.
he have
Yes.
so what is Beans' issue? Does he have like a? Is his voice fine?
I want to
Is
say
it
he
just
had
changed?
a
Or-
surgery or something on his throat or something
I
like
thought he had
that.
a lung removed.
Something
Yeah.
It's like-
something that affects
it's
his
very
his talking.
raspy, very
So
raspy.
is it a thing to where like if he performs live, he's not even going to be able to perform live, or is it a thing to where like his voice is just going to be different? Because if his voice is just going to be different when he performs live, who cares? Everybody's voices sound different. when
But
they're-
the
DMC's
thing-
voice hasn't
but the
sounded
thing-
like DMC in decades.
Long time.
The
yeah.
thing with Beans is, from the shows that I've seen him perform, he'll do a couple songs, but his voice seems to, you know, kind of leave him. Obviously, it would if you're gonna stay up there long enough. So could he tour and do an hour? I don't know. Because
Probably
of,
not.
You know what I'm saying?
and if he can't, I think that's fine, because to me, there's a difference between putting the music out and you don't have to tour. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you can just put the music out and you could do stuff like that.
Because
But-
Beans could still, the minute they do a
Man.
Rockefeller anything or any,
Listen,
they get together, he can always pop out.
we literally just talked about older artists
Yes.
and being relevant and still having that love or passion for the artwork. So obviously, he still has that passion to want to do it. He just physically can't do it to the level that he wants to do it at. So a situation like this,
Yeah.
AI makes total sense to me.
And
man.
you can hear it in Beans' voice on his interviews. He's nowhere near the power. Beans used to command the mic.
Oh yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
and
Like,
it
that's
was-
one of the best parts about him was his voice.
And it's interesting because like when he released some stuff after his voice, you know, went through the changes, he didn't really release anything after that. And I feel like he kind of like heard what people are saying, like, oh, your voice isn't there.
Insecure about it, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's a good thing. I mean,
I'm not mad at-
overwhelming slice says it's cheating. I'm curious how. I don't really see this as particular thing as cheating in this aspect.
He's
Not
not,
if- not
using
if he's-
AI to write his songs.
That's the part. That's
Yeah,
the
I
part,
mean,
bro.
And the thing about it is, he can go in there and still spit these verses or whatnot, and AI can just come on and kind of
Yeah.
give it more
Like auto
him
tune
from
or
back
something.
in the day.
Yeah,
because
sure.
that's what it's going to do. It's going to mimic himself. It's not mimicking somebody else.
The key. There's two keys in this. It's the fact that it's his voice, and it's also the fact that they're gonna be fresh bars. To me, that seals it for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm cool with it. I actually would be excited to hear, because I know his pen's still there. It has to
See,
still
this
be
ain't
there.
the same.
That's not the same. I don't agree.
If Dr. J could control an AI robot and play in the NBA, is that cheating?
That's cheating.
Yeah, that's cheating.
definitely cheating.
Because okay,
different.
this
We're
is,
not using Dr. J.
well, because this is the thing. You know, over time, you know, Dr. J's physical gifts left him to where it's like, okay, I can't play in the NBA anymore.
Right.
Your gift as a songwriter is your pen.
Yeah.
Okay. Now through things that, you know, Beans living a hard lifestyle, you know, his voice, he doesn't have the stamina to, you know, get out and probably rap for an hour or 2 hours like he did when he was young, you know, but his pen is still there. If he was if he was using AI to write his lyrics, then I'd be like, nah, Beans, just like in state property. Nah, Beans.
That's the difference. that's the difference in it. Like
your tool is your brain that controls your pen.
Exactly.
That is the
from a creative standpoint.
He's ghostwriting for himself.
Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
If we're talking about the live performance aspect, sure.
Yes, that's cheating.
Sure, but for just creating what he's creating, coming up with the moves that Dr. J has, no, that's all in his head.
That's kind of like saying
his voice is his intellectual property.
That's almost like saying Roger cheating by using a vocoder while playing a keyboard.
I like that one.
He wasn't cheating to me though, because he still had to know how to play that keyboard in order to make his voice do what it was doing.
If you've ever tried to use a vocoder, sit down at a keyboard, talk into a microphone while playing, give that a shot and then get back with us, because it is not an easy thing to do. So, yeah, man, like, I'm with you on that one. I like that one. He still had to do that. He had to do that.
And once again, my problem is when they try to have, you know, I heard somebody try to have Biggie and Pac do Otis.
Yeah, I'm cool on that.
I don't want to hear that. Yeah.
No. It's interesting to hear just how close it is, but I'm cool on that though.
Shout out to Overwhelming Slice. He is right back. The responses on time too.
I'm not mad at his argument at all.
I'm not mad at you.
But I'm just I
don't know if it's.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
I don't know.
I apologize.
I think Beans gets a pass on this one.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I'm with this one. I'm not mad at this one.
Yeah, this is not the. I agree, it's not the same.
But every week there's something I see with AI that I'm like, it's moving too fast.
That's why this one was
past that threshold.
Like I saw this, and this kind of, I think this kind of goes into this whole Hollywood thing that's happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like I saw somebody translated, like there were some Transformers episodes that never came out in America that had the original characters that we remember, but they just never brought it back over here. And they were able to use AI to translate the Japanese scripts, and they were able to put Peter Cullen in as Optimus Prime.
What?
Yes, it was some guy did it it was just somebody messing around on his computer, not a professional Hollywood studio. But I was like,
they transcribed the whole episodes.
There were parts where it was missing because, but you know, the person who played, they got Optimus Prime's voice. You got Galvatron, they got Grimlock. We're getting into some nerd territory, but they got it down. And I was like, whoa. And this is just somebody, a fan at his house that translated the Japanese scripts and had it sounding like the original actors, how they sounded in the 80s on a show that never came to America.
You got to send me the link to that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was still rough, but like 3 of the main characters' voices were done. And I was like, this is pretty good for some guy just hanging out in his home office who's a fan of the show and wanted to see if he could do it.
Yeah, I'm personally on the fan. I come from a engineering background.
Small town.
Yeah, that is. I was born in a small. No, but you know, I've been on the automation wave for a very long time, and I'm a fan of automation when it assists humans.
Okay.
And when it makes people's lives better. And I think that's the balance of all this stuff. And I personally, just to wrap it up, I don't have any issues with
Beans
with this type of situation where it makes his life and potentially helps him out.
Yeah. I don't either. Just like I think this is a different take than what Timberland was excited about doing it.
Yes.
Because he was saying he can record songs with artists he never worked with.
That's
cheating.
That's weird to me.
Right, that's cheating.
That's different.
Because it's not like you sat in the studio and vibed with this artist.
Like we've seen you do.
It's not, and it's not like these artists are making the other part of it. It's just
this is actually a whole AI verse.
I don't want to see him have
with the AI
Biggie Smalls plug-in.
I don't want to see that. That's totally different than Beans still having the passion to make music and writing the music and then performing it using the AI voice.
That's very, to me, that is very frightening. The Biggie patch, if you will, or the Tupac patch becoming
Don't think they're not gonna
extremely
try it.
accessible.
It's
That's
gonna
what I'm saying.
happen.
It's going to happen. And that in the
already
wrong
out
hands,
there.
quote unquote, it's out there. But I'm saying it could only, to me, this is just, it's starting. Like it
Just like
could
they sell
get worse.
sample packs.
Exactly.
and
It's good.
drum
You're gonna
kits.
start getting packs of people's voices that you can just
They're gonna
slap
be like,
onto.
oh, you're gonna. And the thing is, it'll be it's
Politics, man.
What's really nasty is it wind up be the record companies that
They're
wind
gonna
up.
be leasing these artists.
There we
verses.
go.
Sony's gonna find a way to put out the Michael Jackson pack for $1,500.
And somebody's gonna buy it, and there's gonna be a lot of bad remixes floating around.
Not even remixes, new songs.
New whole record,
New whole records. There'll be
New whole
a
records.
Michael Jackson
Older
plug-in,
records.
and you'll be able to generate lyrics and then make your own production behind all
That's
new
sad.
Michael Jackson songs.
That is sad.
Sad.
And the thing is, at one point I'd have been like, that's probably about 5 years away. We're probably about 6-7 months away.
Or hours even.
You know, and the thing is, like,
It's
now
probably already a thing.
they
Long,
just
you thinking it's already there?
they just have
Yeah.
to find the business model to make it work.
Yeah, that's what a lot of
The
this stuff
business
is.
model will take longer than the actual technology.
Yeah, it's already there.
I mean, Lone is the one person I know that when he has an
Deepfake,
inkling about it,
you know.
or with the trends, I tend to lean your direction. So if you think it's out there, I'm gonna go with you. I'm rocking with Lone on this one.
I mean,
Black
I
Mirror
don't.
is real.
I don't actually
just say
know,
that.
but it's like
No, I'm talking about the direction you're leaning towards. I'm gonna follow you on this one
Look,
because you do the research. Is what I'm saying.
When we start talking about AI in January, the leaps and bounds is made, and it's only July.
I do believe that. I think there'll be something new by the time by 2024. There will be a new something. I just don't know what said something is, but something's gonna pop out.
isn't it kind of crazy that we're a podcast that's made from like we're actually not even here. We're all AI characters.
Yes, they don't even know that though.
That's probably in the works.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like we're not actually here. We're
No.
actually, we've been programmed.
How weird would that be, Lone? To
It's coming.
you know what I'm about to ask you?
Y'all remember Max
It's
Headroom?
coming.
Yeah.
We about to have a real Max Headroom in real life.
Lone, you gonna hear your voice on a new record from somebody in Switzerland. You ready for that?
It's
You want
whatever.
that paper though, right?
Of course, and I think, and that's what
better
that's
put out
that's the fight that the
longevity
actors. That's
Straight up.
that's the fight that the actors and all that stuff is going through right now, is because they see that happening in that field, and they're trying to protect the rights of the people themselves. So
There was the show with Joy Taylor and Acho. What's Acho's first name? I can't remember his name. but-
Emmanuel Acho?
Emmanuel Acho. Yep. Their show is called, what is it? Well, you know what I'm talking about, Jay Moore.
Yeah.
But there was
on Fox. So
on
speak
Fox.
up.
Speak up.
Yeah.
there was a guy that on the episode, he didn't say his friend's name, but he said his friend is an author now, and he used AI to write the book.
He's writing books with ChatGPT.
Yes, he has a whole book out, and he's about to release it. And he
It's
will
not
be
Quan
an
Mills, is it?
Hey, I stay out of grown folk business, but he's going to be an author. It will be released, and everything is generated through what we're talking about.
He just goes in there and punch it up.
Punch it up, write me a book, boom.
If you told us that now I'm not going to buy it.
I mean, I don't know the brother's name, but I'm just saying it speaks to the
If that's what
capabilities
he's
and the
using
possibilities
to
that we do.
promote it, that's probably not smart either.
Yeah,
I mean, I could see using ChatGPT to be like, hey, read this, check this entire thing that I just wrote, and then fix all the errors and spelling errors and grammar errors, and make the story make a little bit more sense. Yes, that's killing a job, right? An
It
editor
is.
job. But that, to me, that is a way that, AI makes sense. You know what I mean?
it's gonna be students. Well, if they aren't
Right.
on,
If you have a hard time writing any papers, now would be the time to do that before they come out with an AI that's going to be able to detect AI.
Look, man,
man, you said something right there.
in 2000, I was using papers that I got off
yeah.
the internet.
Yeah, yeah.
In 2000.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
20 some odd years ago. So imagine
Would
being
you
able
say
to
long
do it
whole
now.
papers?
Yeah, I'm just saying. Like,
Yeah.
shouts to my 11th grade English teacher that got a complete paper that I found online, and she loved it. She praised me for it. I
Why
was
you
like,
ain't tell me
"Thanks."
about this, man?
Because you just said something to the wrong person.
I
and messed it up for
wouldn't have snitched
everybody.
on him. No, I wouldn't.
You've never used alternate sources in order to write to
I've
them?
used alternate sources, but Lone having that lick, I sat by this dude every day, so you could have just leaned over and we was in
It
band
was-
class and
He
be like,
wants you to
Mike,
do your work.
yeah, you want a free
You
paper?
felt like you needed it.
Nah, I need.
I reused
And
it.
then your mama was an English teacher,
She
so
was.
Yeah, if you had got caught, he was actually saving you.
I told her about the running joke on the show, and she cracked up. She was like, "Well, make sure you talk right." That was her response. So
Just your mom.
yeah, she liked that y'all get on me
She
when I
knows
mess
better.
up. She does. Yeah,
Yeah.
she like when y'all get on me. So whatever.
And if you know better, you'll do better.
You'll do
Mike.
better. Yeah. So she got a kick
There
out
you
of
go.
that. Tell him keep doing it is what she said.
Oh, interesting.
What else? we got?
Not that we were supposed to talk about this, but
ahead.
Ryan Melly was
Mistrial.
mistrialed. Are
Oh,
y'all
the-
hip to his situation?
The YBN. No.
Man, there's so many acronyms. I ain't
am I-
even mad at you.
I don't
Long.
know.
Who am I thinking about?
The
It was,
guy that killed. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. He killed his friends.
Yeah. That's what he
And-
did.
And
he
had a
got
song
off.
called "Murder on My Mind."
Yeah,
Definitely.
he killed his friends and got off.
who was he again?
YNW
Melly.
Melly.
YNW.
There's no
He
reason.
had a song with Kanye called "Voices" or "Schizo" or something crazy. He supposedly has 16 different personalities.
This isn't the YBN guy.
No,
You getting that? Yeah, that you confusing him
It's
with
not
somebody.
YBN, YF.
Man, okay.
It's so many acronyms though. I'm not mad at you. Like
yeah,
there's
he had a mistrial. So,
I saw that there was a mistrial.
He may
I
be
didn't know
going
what it
home.
was. That's crazy.
but I think he did this.
He's schizophrenic, so is that
Yeah.
that's what?
So he has 16 different personalities.
Maybe he should not
They
go
need to-
home and go to
At
a.
least lock a couple of them up.
Yeah, one of those personalities killed them dudes and put them in his trunk.
What was the Marvel movie? It's
Jay Moore said lock up a couple of them.
what was that Marvel movie where they had multiple personalities? I think it was Marvel. Maybe it was Marvel. It was like a prequel to like Unbreakable or something. Or maybe
You lost me on that.
maybe-
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, I
I know
remember.
what you're talking
Yeah, I
about.
know what you're
maybe
talking
maybe
about.
not
What are
a
you talking
prequel.
about?
It's the
little
one guy he
bald dude.
played all those characters, and he had the girls locked up.
Yeah, in
And
that
the,
like a
like-
weird zoo place.
Yeah. I
What
know
is
you're
that?
talking
You don't remember
It's
the name?
really good. I
about. I
don't.
can't remember the name.
know
of it.
Something
exactly
with
what
an
you're
S.
talking about, but I-
Swing something. I don't.
Simplicity.
something like that. I gotta look it up.
Y'all got me on that one.
Now I want to know the name because I might. need to
Unbreakable. It's like a
Yeah, it's in that universe.
Yeah.
universe.
Yeah, I remember
movie.
that.
I'm sleep on that long. You got-
Split
Split.
Is that what it's
in
called?
glass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Samuel L. Jackson was in Glass, right?
yeah. Because it was it was from Unbreakable.
Okay.
Yeah.
M.
Split
Night
was really good.
Shyamalan.
Yeah, Split was good.
Why you always know the directors, man? You say you.
M.
I've
Night
never seen.
Shyamalan.
Jay
you
Moore
not-
knows all of the directors for
I do
all.
not know M. Night Shyamalan.
You know, because
His name is not Shalamanan.
Look, because now you want to talk about somebody that's got more misses than hits.
Yeah.
and they just keep letting him do stuff because
Yeah.
they're like,
His
maybe next
name,
time.
his name is fire though. That's why. That's why
he is
He's getting that
notorious.
money from somewhere.
He's notorious for having like the first half of the movie be super fire, and then it just the second half just is like, what happened?
Yeah.
Did you only get budget for half of it? Like
And his name.
That's like his name. You can get the first part right,
M. Night.
and it mess up the
Didn't mess up
bottom.
Shyamalan.
But y'all agree that the name M. Night Shyamalan.
what is it now?
Shyamalan.
Thank you.
M. Night Shyamalan.
Shyamalan?
Sorry, mom.
It's that
M.
easy?
Night Shyamalan.
What?
That name is cold. That name is
You can
cold.
get it right.
He dropped a movie recently that I actually liked. It was called like Beach or something.
That's where the people got old or something.
Yeah.
I remember
like
that.
one. I like that one. Yeah.
I saw that. I didn't know that was
Had a
him.
nice twist in the end. The Village had a cool twist, But
It was decent.
I mean, but he also did that Bruce Willis one, I See Dead People, right?
Yeah, that was
that was good.
That's
though.
what
That's
got
what I mean.
everybody so excited.
He just came out the gate hot, and then
Yeah.
he's going off of that. The Village was. I liked The Village all the way up until like the reveal, and then I was like,
I haven't
That's
seen it,
it.
so don't.
What was the one with Mark Wahlberg? I don't even remember the plot. That's how bad it was.
Got me on that one.
I know what you're talking. It was like something about a fog or something.
Yeah. No, not The Fog. The Fog was another one.
The Mist.
But
He's stupid. That's stupid.
I
This
re-
is a Stephen King movie, which is
Yeah.
actually pretty good.
yeah,
The Happening, is that what it was?
The Happening. That's what
Okay.
it was.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
You know what
Jay
movie
Moore.
I stumbled into, and it had so many good things but couldn't tie them all together. It was a movie
lot
called
of movies.
88.
I'm asleep
88.
on that.
I
The only
think
person you would really know is Notori Naughton from
Oh, okay.
and Orlando Jones.
88. When did it come out?
Best of
last
Orlando
year.
Jones.
Shout
I
out to
think
Orlando
I remember
Jones.
that coming out.
And it had so many things. I was like, but there was just no
Thank you, Long.
Like
payoff.
No connection.
And there were parts where I'm like, because now I just like Lone can go through and be like, this is mixed poorly. When I watch TV shows and
I'm the
movies,
same way.
I'm like, this is a whole 20 minutes that could have been left out
Yeah.
and either filled in with something else or just been a movie that was 20 minutes shorter.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this, like I said, there was something very good there, very interesting, but there was just no payoff, and I was just like,
Lone really is.
it was still
that
interesting,
person.
but I don't know if I can recommend it based on the fact that the payoff wasn't there.
Lone is definitely that person.
Yep.
Hey, Lone, let's
else we got?
I want to get another topic in. I want to talk about the the topic that you shared with the conversation you had about the gentleman that I guess was questioning valuing a technical music structure versus the feeling. We were talking about we had Shorty's name.
So we had a conversation a couple weeks ago, multiple weeks about what the Red girl, Sexy Red,
Lil Red.
And the clip that I shared was pretty much me saying that people shouldn't be afraid to make fun of stuff that should be made fun of.
Yep.
And a lot of people didn't agree with that. I think a major reason was simply because I'm white and I'm wearing this hat and you don't like it, but it's okay.
That they want to seem like they're still cool. This is where a lot of people who should know better still want to seem cool. So whatever the new hotness is, regardless of how terrible it is, they got to
co-sign it.
They got to co-sign it.
It's like, all right, cool. I get it. Fine. But one of the comments kind of stuck to me because he said it's colonizer logic.
Yes.
Which I thought was interesting. At first I was like, okay, where are you going with this? And he said, valuing technical structure over feel. That same logic killed jazz music. And I started thinking about it. I was like, is there truth to that aspect that, that valuing the technical, because we've talked about this in the past too with rappers that are super technical and they don't have any good, the feel's not there with them. Right. It's kind of an argument we kind of have with Eminem sometimes and something, like.
Sorry, big fella, but that does apply to Eminem. Sorry about that.
I think that's interesting. But the more I thought about it, I don't know if you guys want to chime in too, but what I started to get to is that, music isn't just feel. There is also technical portions to music regardless. To me, it's a balance of the two. You could say that playing in key is technical. You could say that playing in 5/4 when you should be playing in 4/4 is technical. So to me criticizing Sexy Red for not rapping on beat is a valid criticism of that because that's a part of
her lyrics just being trash.
But I'm speaking. But my argument against that, I don't care what. Yes, it's trash. But my argument was she's not even on beat, and we're cosign. Hip hop is very rhythmic.
But you know what, Lone? I think first of all, I agree with you because we hear music the same, and I have this argument all the time with people that try to force me to say that we don't hear music differently, and we do. We've had this conversation before. Creatives do. It's just is what it is. But I think the feeling is so powerful that I think that overshadows the technicalities because of how something makes you feel. So when it feels good, Frankie Beverly and Maze, who are technically sound, but it feels so good when happy feelings come on. It just takes you somewhere immediately. And I think people harp on that part more than the technicalities just because of how it makes them feel.
And I would agree with that. But in those songs that you're referencing, in any song that we reference, does the technicality take away from the feel?
No. Nope.
But can the technicality take away from the feel from somebody?
To me, it can.
I don't think
the thing with jazz, though, the thing with jazz music,
I do.
And I see what he's saying, but I still think he missed. And the reason why is because the whole thing with jazz, the reason why jazz was frowned upon by white people back then,
or classically trained classical artists, people who enjoyed the symphony, if you will,
was because women were drawn to these jazz musicians. If
you think it's more social engineering.
If you go back and read what was going on in that jazz movement, they were pretty much demonizing smoking marijuana.
They call it jazz cigarettes.
Yeah. So white women were interested in going to these jazz spots.
Yep.
Some of them were indulging in smoking marijuana. And they were saying that the marijuana in this music makes them do certain things that they shouldn't do. So it was more so boogeyman music, so to speak, when it came to jazz music, more so than the actual technicality of it. Because it was jazz music was hitting certain pockets that what other type of music wasn't doing. But you can say the same thing about grunge rock or even rock in itself. Other type of genres of music aren't classically trained. You know what I'm saying?
But even people who enjoy jazz, when they hear Miles Davis, and they hear Bitches Brew, they'll be like, I don't get this. As opposed to, what I'm saying? That's, I think, sometimes where, instead of being able to recognize the genius that is Miles Davis and his improvisation compared to somebody who is basically
staying in the pocket the whole time.
Exactly. there's an argument to be had there. I don't think that's what we're talking about when we talk about Sexy Red rapping off beat and sometimes barely rhyming.
Correct.
I think it's a different conversation.
And
Yeah,
I agree
it
with
absolutely is.
I agree with Lone.
It's not the same.
Well, actually, what you all are saying, you said, can that take away? 100% it can.
No, for sure.
There's been plenty of times where I've heard, we've all said this at some point. We've all said, man, this song is cool, but it's just something about it I can't get through it, or there's something about this song that I can't. That happens.
To me, it's a balance. I think you have to have a balance of feel, and I think feel is more important than technicality. But if the technicality isn't there, then it's like the two pieces, they need each other.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I think it might be 60-40.
Feel versus
feel versus technicality.
Yeah.
But if your technicality is 5 and it's 95% feel, to me you're messing up the universe.
The balance. And that jazz that we're talking about was still technical. Because you had to be skilled in order to play it that certain way.
I mean, Coltrane has a song
highly skilled.
Coltrane has a song where like every note is a different key.
Yep.
Come on, man.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, it's different, and
we're comparing jazz artists, like for real artists that write music,
right,
to Sexy Red. That's where I draw the line, man.
That
bothers you, don't it?
It's so much. It's nonsense, man. I don't know. Like I understand the logic to an extent, but I don't. To your point, I don't think we're talking about the same thing.
We're not.
This is where look. Once again, because I am in these public spaces where I hear these songs that I downright hate a lot of times.
At least you're honest.
But you know what? And it's bothersome to me, but when they say, when the lyric comes on, my booty hole brown, that does something to a whole room full of women to where they feel they need to sing along. And that is about feel.
That is
not about technical proficiency of lyrics or staying on beat.
Absolutely.
And just to take it away from that, I remember, shout out to my man Rusty Redenbach. I remember we had a little back and forth about the Salt and Pepper song, Push It. Mm-hmm. To me, that song is about feel. That's, to me, in my mind, that's barely even a rap song. But the way people feel when that record comes on, even to this day,
it ring off.
It's not even you can't compare Push It to any other Salt and Pepper song.
Right.
Like, it really is. But the feel of that song, maybe it's not the most proficient, as far as the lyrics filling in bars and what. But when you hear
I give you a prime example. Group that I know we all appreciate and love, an iconic group. To me, this is the epitome of, and they can actually rap, but I'm saying the feel for me outweighs the technicality from a lyrical standpoint. Is Kid and Play. All of those records felt good to me.
They were fun.
They were fun, lighthearted records. You dance and they doing the Kid and Play dance, the kick step, all of that. And those records were just fun records that were dope. But I'm not saying they can't rap, but I'm saying the feel for me outweighed the bars.
But I can honestly make even though like I said they were too high on the list, I can make an argument for Kid and Play's first album being a classic.
I'm not. I know the singles, but I'm not gonna lie and say I know the album.
Kid was a better writer than people want to give him credit for.
I agree with that,
especially on that first album.
Yeah.
One of the other comments says,
same thread.
Yeah, it's like James Toome, M-T-U-M-E.
M-Tume.
Thank you. Made a similar point when he was debating Stanley Crouch on Miles Davis. Miles wanted the 80s youth to like jazz, so he went pop, but Crouch didn't get it. But,
Stanley Crouch is known as a hater.
That is true.
But, like, if we're going to, I don't know. Which Miles work do you like more?
The earlier Miles work.
You know what I mean? Like
that's even like when they did the doo-wop album. That single was good. The Miles Davis hip hop kind of blend album that came out.
Right.
Yeah.
That single that he did with Easy Mo B.
Yeah, that was dope.
Was good.
Yeah.
But the album as a whole was not my personal opinion. But I grew up with my dad who was a fan of jazz music. So I heard good jazz music.
Right.
So even as a kid, I knew this isn't good jazz music to me.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't sound the same as that old Miles Davis stuff.
Sounds
And
stripped
Spiral
down.
Gyro and stuff like that my dad is listening to.
Right.
This doesn't sound like good jazz to me.
Lone, you make a very good point using Miles as an example. Because my go-to Miles is Kind of Blue, Sketches of Spain, all
Early
the
stuff.
the stuff that he was really when he was in his bag.
He was in his bag.
You know what I'm saying? Like those are Kind of Blue is one of my favorite records ever made. So yes, that's what I go to. Now I get Bitches Brew has heat. One of the most iconic album covers I've ever seen. I would love to get that poster. That is fire. All the
But
artwork.
it definitely could be considered a hard listen.
It is a hard.
be.
It is a hard listen because it deviates from what we talked about with that vintage Miles. But
Drugs.
there's definitely. But there's some stuff after that where I'm like,
That's
You know
when
it's
he
a
was
hard-
deep into his drug bag.
Well, you know it's a hard listen, but people talk, especially when it came out. And I can't speak to when it came out. But I just saw what people have talked about. "Hear My Dear" by Marvin Gaye.
it's some
That's
heat on
because
here,
of the
my dear.
connotation, though. That,
Yeah, but yep.
that you know now.
Well, yeah,
It's a
but-
story behind that album.
Oh yeah, "Hear My Dear." Here,
Yeah, that's a
Here you
story
go.
behind that album.
But like when it came out, people were like, "What is this?" We just gotten what's going on. You gonna give us this?
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
But
I see your point.
inspired Nas's album, Life is Good.
Life is good.
So
Yeah. Yep. So that's that's
I like that one alone.
No,
That's a good
I
conversation.
appreciated that comment because even though it was condescending, at least had some sort of meat to it. So
yeah, as opposed to other people who want to just talk about
not
how
knowing
you
that I
dress.
played jazz music for 6 years, like it's like I'm just saying.
He ain't gonna know that. I like that
I mean, it's
stunt right
like-
there because that's actual facts.
It's like people don't know. It's like every once in a while, just say do your Googles in the comments.
You gotta
That's
learn.
fine.
You gotta make sure that you learn your podcasters because there's multiple bags up here on this set. Some people aren't aware of, but there are multiple bags. Most people. Sorry, most people.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. I
It's
just don't like the clearly like blatantly disrespectful stuff. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
that's the stuff that I don't vouch for. Like this is disrespectful, but I can at least
Well, the thing
You know
is,
what
it's
I mean?
like if you're going to
Tastefully done, Long.
say
Yeah.
I disagree with you and here's why.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
That's
But
why
it'd
I'm
be
fine with that. Yeah.
But if you just be like, man, look at that shirt.
Now, if I was from a small town, I would have got triggered by colonizer logic.
Man,
But
You
and
might
I
have-
am from a small town.
you might have. So when you read that, you may have got you a tiki torch or something, man. After you read that, if you were still in your small town,
I don't know if I'd never left my small town. Perhaps.
perhaps.
Be like, oh, colonizer. I didn't. I'm from Indiana.
A small town in
Small
Indiana.
town in Indiana.
A lot of those small towns in Indiana.
There are.
Hey man,
That's why
hey,
we're a red state.
Look, no, this is the wild thing. I remember during the election cycle for 2016,
Mhm.
a friend of mine, he said, he just could not believe when Trump was elected, he couldn't believe it. And I said, well, where during the election cycle had you traveled to? Like, he lives in Boulder, Colorado.
oh,
Now, and he may, in every few weeks, he had to go to Los Angeles. I said, well, that's why you can't believe it. Because during that
Right.
election cycle, I drove from Indiana to St. Louis. Because
It's different.
once you get outside of 465,
Right. You start to see some billboards.
basically all you saw was Trump billboards until
Facts.
you got to the Metro East, got through East St. Louis into St. Louis, and then it stopped.
facts.
But like all that land in between those major metropolitan areas, like that, I saw Trump flags that were above the American flag.
Yeah.
That's how much it meant to those folks.
I saw
and
them.
they're
So I
still
was-
flying right now.
And so
Yeah.
I was not surprised at all.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
Oh,
land doesn't vote,
No, land does not vote.
and there aren't as many people in those land
Right.
as in even the two cities in between.
Right.
There isn't, but like I
But
think
there's still people there.
I think he was surprised because like he didn't see any of the support. He didn't see a Trump sign that entire. And I saw plenty of them.
Yeah,
I saw plenty of them too.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I left Lone's crib in a daze. Like, man, this is real. He just won there. I'll never forget that.
Right when we started the podcast too.
Exactly.
and, yeah, because I remember this is when I was just listening to you guys, and it was like it was supposed to be all music, but how do you act like this didn't happen?
Exactly. You can't not talk about that.
Like I remember because I
That's a
remember
breaking
being
news moment.
at Coach's when Donald Trump was elected, and I think Metronome played REM. It's the end of the world. Oh.
It's the end
I was there
of
for
the
that.
Yeah, and I just remember I was like,
This was pre YG, I think. Yeah.
oh no, we played that too.
Y'all played that? Oh, that had already come out?
That
I
wasn't
couldn't
out
remember.
yet.
No,
Was it out?
It was out.
Was it out?
Was it?
I have
Sure
no
was.
idea.
The F Donald Trump?
It sure was.
I thought it was pre Y. I thought that would have been pre YG.
That was out. That was out because I remember that was out. Yeah, so it was interesting because like the previous this how long we've been doing coaches. I saw Barack Obama win twice at coaches because of course it's Tuesday night, and then for Joe Biden we were still on lockdown, so we were at Decademics.
Oh yeah.
and we were just because it looked like Donald Trump was going to win again. So I remember I had
Mail-in votes.
I had too much Bacardi that night.
Oh,
Yeah, it was a very interesting show.
I'd love to see the live stream of that.
Yeah.
All right, man. Let's see.
The Dr. Dre and
Oh yeah, yeah. I've never heard him say this,
Okay.
but it's in relation to them being linked with gangster rap.
Who's they?
They being NWA, top 5 group of all time, by the way, no debate.
Some people.
And don't do that. I'm not going to even start that.
Yeah.
'Cause my blood
That's
pressure,
why I didn't
to some
bring him
people.
up on the last episode because
my blood pressure gonna get up.
I just left it alone.
All I'm doing is saying it to some people.
Stop.
Enough
man.
to trigger you.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You.
It's just
Right
not,
now.
no, we're not going to do that.
We're not gonna do that. Yeah. Yeah.
No.
But I'm gonna read this because he was in an interview where he sat down with Kevin Hart. He says, by the way, I never liked it being called gangster rap.
Never liked it.
Liked it. Yeah. Liked
I
it.
think it says I never liked it.
I never liked it. That's what I said.
But you said it all in one.
no,
we just,
man, Mama, I didn't mess that one up.
Liked it?
I didn't say, and I didn't say liked it. Don't put. Now he
I'm
put the
sorry,
sauce
go
on
ahead.
it. It's all right. It's all
Yeah,
good. He says he never liked it. I'm gonna go ahead and say it and mess it up. He said that's never what we went in to do. We were just making hardcore hip hop. That's all it is. I don't know why it got that title or who gave it that title. I don't know who the F that was, but it wasn't us.
Probably
Dre been in too many of
Caucasoids.
these
I like
these
Caucasoids.
boardrooms with billionaires and stuff now.
to not to know.
Yeah, because you know exactly why it was called gangster rap, and you was all for it.
So,
Just to say, the same people who made up grunge rock.
Yeah,
but isn't it couldn't be deemed as hardcore rap to them?
Sure.
That doesn't sound far fetched to me. Them being in the studio, being like, "Yo, we make a hardcore."
I mean,
rap.
they had a song called "Gangsta Gangsta."
It's the same thing, really.
You think so?
Boys in the Hood.
I don't know.
These are gangster connotations in
That's what I mean.
material. So why not be called gangster rap?
Kind of like conscious rap. People just make things up because it comes from laziness. Let's just keep it real.
Yeah.
It comes from laziness or people's need to separate themselves.
Genreize and categorize stuff.
I wonder if there is, and I'm surprised it hasn't. I'm sure it's out there. I wonder if there's old content floating around with them actually saying gangster rap.
Well, Ice Cube has a
In the
song
interviews.
called "Gangster Rap Made Me Do It."
You know what I'm saying? Like I'd love to see some of those old videos where they're probably talking about gangster rap.
Maybe he's like, maybe the statement, maybe we're reading too much into this. Maybe it was just like when they went out to make the music.
Yeah.
It wasn't, they're like, hey,
Let's go
make
make gangster
rap music.
I
I'm
agree
sure
with
they
that.
didn't just say
I
that.
agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I think that's probably all he's saying.
Yeah, because I could see them saying, well, we making hardcore hip hop street music. I mean, it was a reflection of where they were from. Like that's really what it was about. You know what I'm saying? So I could buy that part of it.
You
I
know,
could
I
buy
don't
that.
think Public Enemy said we're going to make some conscious rap.
Yeah.
You want to do some conscious rap, Brad Nubian?
Yes,
I don't think that's really what happened.
I am interested in doing conscious rap.
I've never heard him say.
I really like to do conscious rap music.
Hey, Tribe Called Quest, we're going to go in and make a backpack rapper album.
Let's do it.
I love backpacks.
Jan Sports.
And then, you know what we're going to do?
My white voice is better than yours.
I love backpacks.
Backpacks are great.
And then Arrested
This is my regular
Development
voice.
is like, we're going to do something we're going to do alternative rap. You know,
Shout out to Smooth
De La
Loser.
Soul.
Reality rap. Yeah. Reality
But
rap.
really, okay. I'm not.
No, that was really what they were talking about was reality.
That was reality. I mean, until we got
Their reality.
the second album wasn't reality rap. That was just.
I'm going to make virtual reality rap.
All right, Jamiroquai.
Of course, he wasn't rapping, though.
But
Nah, he wasn't.
shout out to Kevin Hart for getting Dr. Dre to do a sit down because I don't
He's
see
Kevin
those
Hart, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, he is. But I mean, we don't get to see too many Dre sit downs where he's talking about a whole bunch of stuff.
So this is from the same interview as before. I'm
remember
guessing.
he talked about Prince and you know, all that other stuff.
The stuff we talked about last week.
Yeah.
I just this is the section that came out, but I've never heard him say this. But I could buy it. I'm gonna buy it, Terry. I'm buying that.
It's cool.
Hardcore hip hop music. I'm buying it.
It's not horrorcore though.
No, it's not.
Now that was something that somebody really in a boardroom was like, yeah. we're gonna do
You know what? It
horrorcore.
was weird. Is like I didn't know what horrorcore. I considered like hardcore horrorcore for a long time because
How you spell that?
horror
Yeah.
HORROR
Then core.
CORE
Say it again.
horrorcore horrorcore.
Or
Horticulture.
Look, I don't even know, like, because I remember they tried to say that what was the
Like
Grave Diggers,
oh man,
but then they,
good album now.
but then there was another group called the Flatliners, and they were terrible.
I remember
they were
that.
on. They
we
were,
had like some local horrorcore in Anderson, I remember, and that's how I got hip to it. I didn't even know it was a thing.
I was asleep.
they,
But
they
then-
were
but-
rapping in graves and
Like cutting people's heads off and eating it and stuff like
oh
that.
yeah,
Smooth Hoosier.
So- no, I'm serious, though. It's
Brother
like-
Lynch.
Brother Lynch was really good at horrorcore.
Facts.
If that's what you want to call it.
But like
Okay.
ICP, well, not ICP, but well, maybe it is ICP. I don't know.
no, they weren't. I don't think they
ICP
were
was
in it.
more, yeah.
that's like cult
ICP
type
adjacent.
stuff.
ICP adjacent.
ICP adjacent. Okay.
You know,
They had a following, man. Them dudes was.
I guess you could consider 3-6 Mafia horrorcore to an extent. Early 3-6.
yeah.
especially with some of the imagery. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
Good call. Good call.
Brother Lynch was cold with it though.
Man, hit that. And make sure you sit down somewhere before you listen to Brother Lynch, because there's a lot going
Shout
on.
out to the other person who will hear this and remembers the Flatliners.
Yes.
There was, I remember there was a dude in the group. His name was Red Rum, and I think it
Yeah,
was
I
like
remember.
Russell Simmons' nephew or
Yeah.
something. Like it was, you know, it was a family hookup. There was no reason that album should ever.
Russ ain't throwing any more lobs, huh? They ain't
He
work
was
out.
like, no,
It
we're not
didn't
doing
work.
this. Like
It was
we
a
got.
wrap.
It was like Def Jam got enough problems.
He might have got he might have got a job with Def Jam and just wasn't rapping.
He was like, give me something I can actually put on TV.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Cranes on the sidewalk.
What?
Brains on the side. No.
Yeah. And that was a parody song.
Yeah, people.
And it was just really good.
Yeah, people in St. Louis didn't get it. They just thought
They didn't
we-
get it here. They used to get beat up when that song came on.
dang,
If that song came on at any party,
it was over with.
that was probably the end of the
There's
party.
gonna be some brains on the sidewalk.
Yes, people were about to fight and act stupid.
Oh wow.
it's
Yeah.
like tear the club up.
Yeah,
Tear the club up was.
Yeah.
Be careful.
The stories behind that are pretty crazy.
yeah.
That's a.
You know what? Here too, back in the day, "Let's Get Small" was a fight song.
Really?
I don't
Like,
What?
Yeah, before our time,
Yeah.
if "Let's Get Small" came on, they would get busy.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
That was a fight anthem.
Let's Get Small.
That
I'm
doesn't,
asleep. I didn't know that.
that,
Yeah.
that doesn't make sense, but I guess.
It kind of does.
Let's get smart.
Yeah. I mean, but damn, that seems like it just seemed like something to get played at family reunions now.
Now it is.
Yeah.
People ain't getting beat up, but yeah, when Slaughterhouse came on, it was bad.
Smooth Who just said born to roll.
That was a good song, but nobody got beat up to it.
Yeah.
All right, man. I think that'll
That's the Master Ace.
yeah, shouts to Master Ace for sure. I think
Master
Did I
Ace
tell the
still puts
story
out good
where I
records.
met Master Ace?
I hope
I
it
was
was a
coming
good
back
experience.
home from L.A.
He seems like a normal dude.
Yeah.
I was coming home from L.A. This was probably 96. Bone Thugs had just dropped their good album called East 1999 Eternal. And I had a Source magazine with me. I'm at the airport, and I see dude walking through the airport with two nice looking women. I'm like, man, that's Master Ace. So I walked up to him and asked him to sign my Source. And he was like, where you want me to sign at? And I kind of flipped through it. I couldn't find.
You know,
Yeah.
Master Ace material.
So I just told him to sign the cover.
Yeah.
And he did.
Hey.
Shout out to Master Ace for signing the cover
Straight
of your
up.
source.
with Bone Thugs and Harmony on the cover.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
And
that's
two-
all I had.
Yay, man.
Two elite women on the side. Shout out to him for taking
Yeah,
time.
he
with-
wasn't mad at nothing.
at all. He was
Probably was happy that somebody on the West Coast knew who he was.
facts.
He had love on the West Coast.
He did.
though.
He
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, but Terry made his day though, and he made Terry's day, so we'll take that.
Yeah.
All right, man. Shout out to the chat. We appreciate y'all sticking around with us. Remember, newoldheads.com for all the education you need this year. If you see it, like it, subscribe, share. Don't forget to check out our Patreon as well. We appreciate the support as always, and we will see y'all next week. Peace.
Yeah.
Bye.